G'day, mate. G'day, mate. Welcome down under. We're having a barbecue. We're at the barbie down under, mate. So, today we are doing our viewer request. Okay? Now, this is interesting. Neighbours, the famous Australian soap opera, has been cancelled. If you are of a certain age and background, that is actually news, and so I was inundated with 2 requests to do something from Neighbours. The first request was, do something from Neighbours. The second request was, do Scott and Charlene's wedding from Neighbours. A seminal moment, but the problem with doing that, if you have a memory, is that there are no fully audible lines of the ceremony. Only a very angry Anderson song over the top of it all. Why? I know not. So unless you want me to sing while my associates mouth nothingness at one another, it's impossible. But the request made me watch the whole episode, and something very surprising lies therein. Okay. What it was, I'm not going to, no suspense here, a 3-minute unbroken shot of the reception in a single tiny room involving 17 characters, 16 of whom have a line. Very interesting. And so, it is that scene the 4 of us shall recreate with great care and attention. Talk to others. So, very interesting. Very interesting. I watched the whole episode because I liked, diligent. I really try and help the viewers who make requests. And in the back of my mind, I remembered that the wedding ceremony, very sparsely attended because they didn't pay for extras, in a medium-sized church, but when you only have 25 people there, you don't have any cousins, you don't have any friends that don't live in the street. Bit weird. So it doesn't look well attended there. It's such a big sort of cavernous space. And as soon as she starts coming down the aisle, they start playing a tune, like a song by an Australian man called Angry Anderson, who was sort of, I don't think he's dead, like a bald guy who looked angry. But it was a love song, and then they worked, and you could just about make out lines underneath his very loud singing. So it was like, I do, and he, oh, suddenly you're hearing me, like that. And then that was the end of the ceremony. I was like, well, we can't do that because, I've got a reasonable singing voice. I can make it work, but it'd be very strange few minutes, that one, because you'd just be going, maybe we could do like ring actions, but the shots are like people turning around. But anyway, the important thing is, I'm like, right, carry on. Is there anything else in this episode I can dredge? Yeah, anything I can use. The very next scene, they're in the Robinsons' living room. Yeah. Right, doing the receptions. They've not spent a lot of money here. Okay, they're like, hey, fair enough. I mean, they were teen newlyweds. It's all like still together though, so it worked. And very small room, 17 people in the room. There may have been an extra, like photographer guy. Couldn't really tell. Always on kind of the edge. They had tables set up. So they've taken away a bit of space there. No extras, because everybody in the room, apart from maybe this photographer guy, is a character. So you've got a lot of characters behaving like extras, which does happen in soaps. It's not the strangest thing. But the craziest thing of all, this is 1987 or 8, a single shot, kind of thing they find very fashionable and impressive these days. Single shot of them coming in and out of the room, finding people and catching up with the things that they're saying, progressing the storyline as well done on getting married. Did we learn something here? 3 full minutes, cut. And I thought, I must be the first person to have noticed that. They will have rehearsed that like crazy, and I'm prepared to say it was even good. Yeah, it was even good, because at no point did I feel anyone in the background was like, do I go now? Do I go now? Oh, yeah. There was none of that. So they'd rehearsed it to death, so that everybody was moving at the right time. They were where they needed to be for where the camera, where the framing was, and all of this. They spent ages on that. And famously on soaps, they don't spend any time on anything. They knew it was an important episode, and they said, we're going to push the boat out. And all anybody did was focus on the sparsely attended ceremony where a man who isn't even in the show sings a song. He isn't even on screen. Right? The person who dreamed that up, the person who directed that episode, is 75 years old. And it may be the greatest thing they ever did. And no one knows. But I know. And now you know, all these years later. And anyone that watches this, even after I'm dead, will know that that happened. And I think that's very special.
Good for you, yeah.
Because it's recognition, finally, for something that was better than it needed to be. A bit like ABBA. Better than it needed to be.
Or the Wombles.
Yeah. So, internal, Robinson's living room day. It's always sunny on Neighbours.
That's
Never
Australian.
nighttime. Oh, before we get into it. Right, so what I've done here, so there's 16 people have lines. You will never see that. Right? My record is 9, and it was the worst day of my life. 16 people having dialogue in a scene is insane. Okay? So this is a bit of a one-off. I've color-coded things, and rather than pick characters, you will have to pick a color. And the colors are merely based on about the only way I could do it, so that nobody talks directly to themselves. You know, how are you, mate? I'm fine, thanks. That doesn't happen. But you'll have to pick a color. So we've got red. People like red. We've got green. Fewer people like that, but they do like it. Blue, similar popularity to red. Purple. I like purple. I wouldn't say it's as popular as red and blue. So, who wants what? Red, green, blue, purple, red.
Could I
green,
take blue? Blue's my favourite colour.
Blue, red, green, purple, red, green. Take one. Purple, red.
Red.
I'm
Green.
going to go green.
Okay, I'll be purple. I think you've given that to me because I said I like purple. Could be wrong. Internal Robinson's living room day we've established. So these are the shots right before the big shot. A wedding cake is shown with 2 cartoonish figures of a kissing bride and groom atop it. A bottle moves in front of this close-up shot, and a cork is popped from the bottle of Australian champagne, probably. Followed by a wide shot of a packed room of characters. Grandad has popped the bubbly and is now urging his grandson Henry to bring in the flutes to pour it out. The camera, this is the big shot, now moves around the room to capture conversations for 3 minutes. All. Whoa!
Well, come on, Henry. Bring those glasses over.
Dan?
Heavens, woman, I'm only filling them. There you are, love.
No, thank you.
Well, quality control, eh, Henry?
Grandad.
Camera moves to the happy couple being joined by Des and Daphne.
Well, both of you, best of luck.
Thanks, Daph.
Thanks, Steph.
Kisses Daphne on cheek.
Yeah, you done the right thing and don't let anybody tell you different. Marriage is the only way to go.
Des winks at Daphne, his wife.
He knows he has to say that. I'll thump him if he doesn't.
Thanks, Des. Only yourselves, okay?
Yeah, I will, mate, I will.
Don't eat too much.
Jim, Scott's father, arrives behind the newlyweds.
I had a speech all prepared for you, mate. You've heard my speeches before.
Yeah.
So I'll say something I should have said a lot more often. I'm very proud of you, Scott.
Thanks, Dad.
Hug.
And I'm really pleased that you wore Anne's cross because it really meant a lot to him.
It meant a lot to me.
Welcome to our family.
Kisses Charlene on cheek.
Scotty?
Camera moves to Mrs. Mangle and Harold Bishop. Excuse me.
Feeling just a little peckish myself. Oh, but look, meat. Nothing but meat. You'd think that in this day and age people would... Oh, here we are. Here we are. Although I don't suppose there'll be any vegetarian food at the church dance tonight, eh?
Oh, you're not to worry, Mr. Bishop. I'll make sure there's something there for you. I know exactly what you like.
Mr. Bishop? Mr. Bishop, have you got a minute?
Yes, of course. Will you excuse me, Mrs. Mangle? Just a moment.
Harold is replaced by Daphne, who sidles next to Mrs. Mangle.
Mrs. Mangle,
Oh,
I just
yes?
I just wanted to say thank you for calling off the lawsuit.
I have no wish to see a young couple suffer financially.
Thank you.
But I must admit, my solicitor was most upset. He thought $1,000 wasn't nearly enough to compensate me for what happened to me.
What?
But all in all, I think the out-of-court settlement was the best for everybody. Daphne looks annoyed, shocked. The camera now moves with Henry.
Paul, could you give me a hand with these drinks, mate?
Yeah, sure.
Paul goes with Henry, leaving his wife Gail alone with Hilary, comes alongside her.
Gail? I couldn't help noticing your father wasn't at the service.
No, he wasn't. I don't know what happened to him.
He didn't tell you that he wasn't coming?
No, he didn't. Well, he probably got tied up at the garage and lost track of time. He's a bit like that.
Yes. Yes, I thought he might be.
Hilary walks away. Gail crosses the room and the camera reveals the newlyweds with Lucy and Jane.
Des said he'd take a photo of us together.
Lucy, I'm sort of...
Just one photo.
Go on.
I won't be a sec, all right?
Scott and Lucy leave Charlene and Jane together.
So, how does it feel to be a married old woman?
I reckon I can hack it.
Charlene, I can't believe you're actually married.
Hey, it's your turn next.
No way, not for another 10 years at least.
Oh, yeah?
Well, 5 anyway.
The camera moves through the crowd to see a tearful mother of the bride, Madge. She breaks off into the kitchen emotionally. Harold notices and follows. End scene. That's an interesting noise.
Yeah.
Is that Harold going, I've noticed?
He's concerned.
Okay.
Wow, what a feat.
That was amazing.
There's a lot going on, isn't there?
A lot of,
Yeah, imagine that shot.
a lot of
You don't need to
conversations
imagine. I gave you the link, didn't I?
there. Yeah.
So very special. I would recommend seeking that out because a lot of work went into that shot.
Yeah.
Did we do it justice?
I mean, it was a lot easier for us because we were just sitting down.
It's true.
It's hard to capture that kind of energy, isn't it?
I think without a buffet in the room, it's difficult to really sort of feel that party presence.
Yeah.
If we had a buffet.
I think that would.
I think if
The
we were
buffet
to-
is almost another character, isn't it? in itself?
buffet is a character.
facilitator
The
of all
champagne
these-
is a character
Yeah.
as well.
All
isn't
these
it?
conversations.
Could we get a buffet?
Can we get a buffet? Maybe like this could be if there's food on there. So you just like reach. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got something to reach.
Yeah.
One of the ways I like to inject energy into a scene when you feel we really need energy, do it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we can do it 30% faster,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think more than that is too much. 30. then I think we'll get the real kind of sunny Australian vibe, because we did it a little bit English.
Yeah.
We were trying. I
Mm.
mean, we tried with the accents, but I think, oh, how's Australia, mate? G'day, mate. Yeah, and just like
Yeah,
hammer through.
Because we're not Australian.
Yeah, got to
That's
act.
true, yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
to act. You've got to act. So
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's do it 30% fast.
Okay.
Now, do we want to keep our colours? Were you happy with what you had, what you did? Were you like, a bit jealous of anybody?
I'm quite happy with my blue.
I think a second go on the red
Yeah.
is good
Yeah.
because I'll have a second go.
You've done it, so you think
I've
you'll be
lived it.
better.
Yeah.
It's hard to be faster at something you've never done before.
Mm.
That-
In
yeah,
fact,
that
it's
is true.
impossible,
Mhm.
isn't it? I mean, really, when you consider that statement,
Yeah,
Well,
you
yeah,
can't
if
be
you've never done it before, it can't be faster.
yeah,
faster than what?
you can be fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. Faster than what? If someone had done it before,
But then
depends.
also they
Too
say the
technical.
first cut is the deepest.
They do say
maybe I know.
30% faster.
30% faster.
30% faster, yeah.
No more, because then it's silly.
that. Right.
A wedding cake is shown with two cartoonish figures. I'll get the image up here.
Mm.
A wedding cake is shown with two cartoonish figures of a kissing bride and groom atop it. A bottle moves in front of this close-up shot, and a cork is popped from the bottle of Australian champagne, probably, followed by a wide shot of a packed room of characters. Grandad has popped the bubbly and is now urging his grandson Henry to bring in the flutes to pour it out. The camera now moves around the room to capture conversations for 3 minutes. Whoa!
Well, come on, Henry, bring those glasses over.
Dan?
Heavens, woman, I'm only filling them. There you are, love.
No, thank you.
Well, quality control, eh, Henry?
Granddad!
Camera moves to the happy couple being joined by Des and Daphne.
Well, best of luck to both of you.
Thanks, Daph.
Thanks, Daff.
Kisses Daphne on cheek.
Yeah, you done the right thing, and don't let anybody tell you different. Marriage is the only way to go.
He knows he has to say that. He knows I'll thump him if he doesn't.
Thanks, Des. Enjoy yourselves, okay?
Yeah, I will, mate, I will.
Don't eat too much.
Jim, Scott's father, arrives behind the newlyweds.
Oh, I had a speech prepared for you, mate, but you've heard my speeches before.
Yeah.
So I'll say something I should have said a lot more often. I'm very proud of you, Scott.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased to see you wore Anne's cross because it really meant a lot to him.
It meant a lot to me.
Well, welcome to our family.
Kiss Charlene on cheek.
Scotty?
Camera moves to Mrs. Mangle and Harold Bishop. Excuse me?
No, feeling just a little peckish myself. Oh, but look, meat. Nothing but meat. You'd think that in this day and age people would... Oh, here we are. Oh, yeah, here we are. Although I don't suppose there'll be any vegetarian food at the church dance tonight, eh?
Oh, you're not to worry, Mr. Bishop. I'll make sure there's something there for you. I know exactly what you like.
Mr. Bishop, have you got a minute?
Yes, of course. Will you excuse me, Mrs. Mangle, just a moment?
Harold is replaced by Daphne, who sidles next to Mrs. Mangle.
Mrs. Mangle,
Oh,
I
yes?
just wanted to say thank you for calling off the lawsuit.
I had no wish to see a young couple suffer financially.
Thank you.
But I must admit my solicitor was most upset. He thought $1,000 wasn't nearly enough to compensate me for what happened to me.
What?
But all in all, I think the out-of-court settlement was the best for everybody. Daphne looks annoyed / shocked. The camera now moves with Henry.
Paul, could you give me a hand with these drinks, mate?
Yeah, sure.
Paul goes with Henry, leaving his wife Gail alone until Hilary comes alongside her.
Gail, I couldn't help noticing your father wasn't at the service.
No, he wasn't. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he didn't tell you that he wasn't coming.
No, he didn't. Well, he probably got tied up at the garage and lost track of time. He's a bit like that.
Yes, I thought he might be.
Hilary walks away, Gail crosses the room, and the camera reveals the newlyweds with Lucy and Jane.
Des said he'd take a photo of us together.
Lucy, I'm
Just
sort of...
one photo.
Go on.
I won't be a sec, all right?
Scott and Lucy leave Charlene and Jane together.
So, how does it feel to be an old married woman?
I reckon I can hack it.
Charlene, I can't believe you're actually married.
Hey, it's your turn next.
No way, not for another 10 years at least.
Oh, yeah?
Well, 5 anyway.
The camera moves through the crowd to see a tearful mother of the bride, Madge. She breaks off into the kitchen emotionally. Harold notices and follows. End scene. Yeah, that had
was-
real
That
energy.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was
That was sunny
faster, wasn't it?
as
Yeah.
well. It was Australian sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really helped. I don't know, I can't speak for you guys. That
Yeah,
really helped
it
center
did.
me.
Just
I even got
helps
food
kind
when
of
I
ground
wasn't
you
in
in
the.
the scene, doesn't it? Yeah.
I wasn't
I
even
wasn't
in
even
the.
there and I was getting food.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
suppose is what happened because
Yeah.
they were all doing
Yeah.
extras jobs,
Mm.
you know. So this did its job here. Very helpful.
I can imagine actually that when they were rehearsing it, they probably weren't using real food.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably using something like what we were doing, like a prop,
Yeah.
because that's there's a lot of food wastage, and
That's true, yeah.
They didn't care about that in the 80s, though, did they?
maybe not.
No,
A lot of vol au vents.
Yeah,
Mm.
not the cheapest. I mean, maybe they
No.
just got crackers.
Mm.
A lot of noise though, a lot of background noise just from crackers.
Yeah, and that's probably why they said we need to get a proper vol au vent.
Mm.
Yeah. Not just for the wedding, but for the noise,
Yeah.
like the audio. This is it. So
Maybe the buffet that was in the scene was the actual lunch for the actors, and they said, enjoy that, because that's all there is.
Enjoy that in
Yeah.
character and we'll just capture it and
yeah.
You better get to the buffet at some point in the scene, otherwise...
And the interesting thing is, a proportion of it will have been vegetarian, so that Harold could say his line, even
Yeah.
though in those days none of them would have been. So they'd have been like, oh god,
I've got to eat this.
20% of our platter is vegetarian. Oh god, you know, you can imagine them in the 80s.
Mm.
But they wouldn't have, as long as they didn't say that when the cameras were live. They're like, oh, all right. So, I think that's another viewer request fulfilled beautifully. Really happy to do that one. That was, I don't know, it was fun, wasn't it, that one?
Let's walk down memory lane.
I had a great time.
I enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. Keep those viewer requests coming in, but try to make them direct messages, kind ones, and not in comments, because I've noticed that when they're comments, like someone says, no, we shouldn't do that, and I don't really want an argument over something that's ultimately my decision. You know, you wouldn't, like if the Queen decided something, she wouldn't let people go, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, she shouldn't anyway. Mind you, that's probably a bad example because I don't think she can do anything. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.